What's up, guys? How are you? I'm Satyanarayan. I'm a 2019 batch IPS, and I hope that your preparation is going well. And I also believe that these videos are going to be helpful for you. They are helping you in your preparation. So we have been discussing these very important concepts about biodiversity in our series of environment, biodiversity and climate change. And believe me guys, this is a very important series because around 20% of the prelims paper consists of questions from environment, biodiversity and issues related to climate change. Okay, so please pay attention to these concepts. And in the previous video we discussed various concepts related to biodiversity. Okay, so we covered that at what levels biodiversity occurs, how it is measured, and what is the difference between alpha, beta and gamma biodiversity. And then we also discussed what are some of the services provided by the biodiversity to the humans. And then we also discussed about the natural and the man-made factors that are responsible for the degradation of biodiversity. Okay, and finally we discussed that at the international level and at the national level steps have been taken to conserve the biodiversity. Okay, in the previous video we also discussed about ex situ and in situ conservation strategies. So I promised that if you people ask me, then on your demand I will make a video on the convention on biodiversity. So this is an international effort, and Biodiversity Act 2002. So that is an act passed by Parliament of India. Okay, so you people demanded that, और जैसा आप मांगोगे वैसा I will give you back. Okay, so if you people feel that आपको किसी भी particular topic में दिक्कत आ रही है उसको समझने में, या if you want some conceptual clarity on any particular topic, then you can write down that in the comment section and I'll definitely try to make a video on that topic as soon as possible. Start discussion about the convention on biodiversity. Okay, so to understand its origin we will have to go back to 1992. Okay, हमें 1992 में जाना पड़ेगा, जो रियो डी जेनेरियो में अर्थ समिट हुई थी वहां पे. ओके, सो रियो डी जेनेरियो की जो अर्थ समिट थी उसको अलग अलग नामों से जाना जाता है. फॉर एग्जांपल यूनाइटेड नेशंस कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन एनवायरनमेंट एंड डेवलपमेंट. ओके, इट इज आल्सो नोन एज रियो डी जेनेरियो अर्थ समिट, और रियो समिट, रियो कॉन्फ्रेंस and earth summit. Okay, so these are all the names of this summit which happened in 1992. Okay, so there were three important documents which originated as a result of this 1992 summit that was held in Rio de Janeiro, that is capital of Brazil. Okay, so one was the Rio Declaration on Environment and Development, another one was Agenda 21, and third one was the Forest Principles. Okay, so these three documents we will discuss in detail about these in a separate video. So for example, Agenda 21 was a document which listed some of the agendas for the development in the 21st century. Okay, so this is 21 refers here for the 21st century. Okay, so because in 1992 the global community was thinking about the life in the 21st century, and we see that the life in 21st century has changed drastically and so many challenges are there in front of us. One among them is the present pandemic, that is COVID-19. Okay, so that is a separate thing, and now we will focus on these conventions. Okay, so three important legally binding agreements. Okay, they are known as Rio Conventions. They were opened for signature. Okay, so what are all these three? I also mentioned about them in the previous video. One is then on the biodiversity. Okay, so this is United Nations Convention on Biodiversity. Okay, we can call it CBD. Another one is very famous, and this is in news for last 5-6 years because of the Paris Agreement, and it is related to the climate change. So its full name is United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. So we will need to cover this in a separate video, but in this video we will cover about this UNCBD. And the third convention was United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. Okay, so हर साल जो रेगिस्तान है पूरे दुनिया भर का वो बढ़ता जा रहा है, तो उस डेजर्टिफिकेशन को रोकने के लिए यूनाइटेड नेशंस ने कन्वेंशन अडॉप्ट किया था. ओके, now we will discuss about this United Nations Convention on Biodiversity. So it was opened for the signature at the Rio de Janeiro on 5th June 1992. याद रखना इतना जरूरी नहीं है, but yes, we should remember that it was part of this Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, and then it entered into force in 1993. Okay, so there are three goals of this United Nations Convention. One is the conservation of biodiversity, very simple to remember. Another one, sustainable use of its component. Okay, so जो biodiversity के components है उनको sustainably use करना है. Okay, so this is the keyword, sustainable use. And last is the fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from genetic resources. Okay, so जो भी biological resources है, biodiversity की जो resources है, उनसे जो हमें benefits arise हो रहे हैं, उनका जो distribution है, that should be fair and it should be equitable. Okay, for example, जो communities नेचर को कंजर्व करने में ज्यादा रोल प्ले करती है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल दोज कम्युनिटीज और ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज विच आर लिविंग इन हार्मनी विद द नेचर, सो उनको जो है इसका ज्यादा बेनिफिट मिलना चाहिए. ओके, सो दैट मीन्स फेयर एंड इक्विटेबल शेयरिंग ऑफ बेनिफिट्स. Now this United Nations Convention on Biodiversity has two supplementary agreements. So one is Cartagena Protocol, another one is the Nagoya Protocol. So now there can be a question in your mind that what is the difference between convention and a protocol. Okay, so convention is a broad framework, okay, and protocols are sub part or they are further supplements to this convention, and they lays down the specific guidelines or proper procedures. Okay, so they supplements this convention. Okay, so convention is the bigger framework, protocol is a strategy or part of it. Okay, or we can say that this is a brief framework and this is in detail. Okay, so I think that this difference is clear to you. So now we will see what is the provision protocol and the Nagoya protocol. So Cartagena protocol, जैसा इसका नाम है, इसका फुल नेम अगर आपको याद होगा इतना ही सफिशिएंट है. So its full name is Cartagena Protocol on Biosafety to the Convention on Biological Diversity. Okay, so the keyword here is biosafety. Okay, so you just remember Cartagena biosafety. अगर इतना याद होगा तो एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो जाएगा. So it governs the movements यानी कि एक कंट्री से दूसरी कंट्री के बीच में ट्रांसफर of what, of living modified organisms resulting from the modern biotechnology from one country to another. For example, we keep on hearing about GM crops. Okay, for example, GM mustard, GM maize, etc. So here you can see the photo and you can easily remember from this image that GM maize, GM, and there are various GM crops which are a direct result of amendments or modifications in the living organisms. So this Cartagena protocol governs the movement of these organisms. So जो प्रिंसिपल है एक कंट्री से दूसरी कंट्री के बीच में इनके ट्रांसफर को वो गवर्न करता है, and that is Cartagena protocol. And it also seeks to protect biological diversity from the potential risk posed by the living modified organism. Okay, so on one hand there is natural biodiversity. Okay, on the another hand we are using biotechnology and we are developing some species, for example this GM mustard. Okay, सो जो कार्टाजेना प्रोटोकॉल है उसका मकसद ये है कि इसकी वजह से जो हम बायोटेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके जो भी हम स्पीसीज वगैरह डेवलप कर रहे हैं या जो भी हम मॉडिफाइड स्पीसीज डेवलप कर रहे हैं उसका नेचुरल बायोडाइवर्सिटी पे थ्रेट नहीं होना चाहिए. ओके, सो दैट इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट और दिस इज द मैंडेट ऑफ कार्टाजेना प्रोटोकॉल. सो these 3 points, just remember about it and just remember this keyword biosafety. Okay, it will be really helpful for you in the exam, particularly in the prelims. Then another protocol under this UNCBD is the Nagoya Protocol. So Nagoya is a city in Japan, and the Nagoya Protocol, its full name is Nagoya Protocol on Access to Genetic Resources and Fair and Equitable Sharing of the Benefits Arising from Their Utilization to the Convention on Biodiversity. Okay, so one of the aim of this UNCBD was fair and equitable sharing of the benefits. Okay, so this objective of this Nagoya protocol of this UNCBD is taken care of by the Nagoya Protocol, and it provides a legal framework for the effective implementation of one of the 3 objects. So one of the 3 objects was this fair and equitable sharing of the benefits, and it is taken care of by the Nagoya Protocol. So just remember the word access to genetic resources and fair and equitable sharing. Okay, so you can remember these 2 words, access and benefit sharing. Okay, so these are the keywords, just remember them, it will be helpful. मैं इन कीवर्ड्स के बारे में बार बार इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ बिकॉज ये जो कीवर्ड्स हैं दे गिव्स अस सर्टेनिटी रिगार्डिंग द ऑप्शंस इन द प्रीलिम्स. सो वी विल सी व्हाई वी आर or why I am particularly emphasizing on these keywords in one of the question at the end of this video. Okay, so next is the Biological Diversity Act 2002. Okay, so this is an act passed by the Parliament of India in 2002 for the preservation of the biodiversity in India. Okay, so UNCBD was an international effort and to meet the obligations, okay, under the UNCBD, India has implemented or enacted this act, okay. So because India is a party to the United Nations Convention on Biodiversity, that's why India has passed this act, okay. So what are the important key provisions of this act, we will see in detail. So in this particular act, biodiversity has been defined, and its definition is given as the variability among living organisms from all sources and the ecological complexes of which they are part, and includes diversity within species, between species, and of ecosystem, okay. So yesterday in the previous video we discussed about the different types of biodiversity, so within the species and across the species and across the ecosystem, okay. So all these type of diversity is covered under this definition under this act, okay, biodiversity. Next, this act provides for the establishment of statutory bodies. So कौन कौन सी statutory bodies के लिए ये कहता है? At the national level, National Biodiversity Authority. At the state level, State Biodiversity Board. And at the local level, Biodiversity Management Committees. Other than that, it also provides for the creation of national and state biodiversity fund, okay, for the funding purposes. So it provides a three-tier framework, one at the national level, that is the National Biodiversity Authority, next is at the state level, that is State Biodiversity Board, and third one is at the local level, so that is the Biodiversity Management Committee, BMC, okay. So these points can be really helpful while writing answers in the mains. Now let's see the functions of the National Biodiversity Authority. So it has been established in Chennai under the Biodiversity Act 2002, and the power and the functions of NBA are that all the foreign nationals, they require approval from NBA. So जो भी foreign nationals है उनको NBA से approval लेना पड़ेगा for obtaining biological resources from India. अगर वो इंडिया से किसी भी तरीके के biological resources लेते हैं for research purpose or for any other commercial purpose, तो उनको जो है वो NBA से prior approval लेनी पड़ती है, okay. All the Indian individuals or entities यानी कि कोई कंपनीज या जो रिसर्च ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है वगैरह, they are required to seek NBA approval before transferring knowledge or research or material to the foreigners. तो अगर कोई भी इंडियन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, अगर वो किसी भी फॉरेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या फॉरेन इंडिविजुअल्स को अगर नॉलेज ट्रांसफर करना चाहता है या रिसर्च के लिए भी अगर मटेरियल वगैरह ट्रांसफर करना चाहता है, so they need to take prior approval from NBA, okay. So this is the particular role of NBA, and prior approval of NBA is also required before applying for any kind of IPR. IPR is intellectual property rights, for example patents, etc, okay. So before applying for any kind of IPR, you need to take a prior approval from the NPA, and those NPR based on the research conducted on biological material, okay. So for example कोई भी particular scientist है या कोई professor है, he does some research on a particular species of for example say mustard or wheat, using this using his research concept. So if he wants to apply for an patent, okay, so then he need to take a prior approval from the NBA, okay, and associated knowledge obtained from India. So I think this point is clear to you. So these are the three broad approvals which are needed to be taken from the NPA. Then the role of NBA is also advise the government on conservation of biodiversity, okay. So जो government को एक advisor का काम करता है कि क्या क्या स्टेप्स लेने चाहिए बायोडाइवर्सिटी को कंजर्वेशन करने के लिए, that is taken care of by NBA. And it also advised the government on the selection of biological heritage sites, okay. So कुछ particular जो sites होती है, they are referred as biological heritage sites. So it is the job of NBA, National Biodiversity Authority. Move towards state biodiversity boards, okay. So the NBA was at the national level, state biodiversity board are at the state level, okay. So what are its functions? Let's see. So Biodiversity Act 2002, it mandates each state, okay, to notify its state biodiversity board, okay. But this state biodiversity boards, this provision is not there for the union territories, okay. So just remember this fact कि union territories जो हैं, they are covered under the National Biodiversity Authority, okay. So prelims में यहाँ पे question बन सकता है कि जो state biodiversity board है वो हर state और union territory के लिए बनाए गए हैं, या there is a provision for the creation or notification of a state biodiversity board for each state and union territory, okay. So then the statement will become false, and it is only for the states, not for the union territories, because union territories are placed under NBA. Okay, so just remember this fact. Now what are the functions of the State Biodiversity Board? It advises the state governments on the matters of biodiversity conservation, similar to the function of NBA in case of central government. Then it regulates commercial use of the biological resources in the states by Indians. Okay, so it regulates, the term here is regulate commercial use, and it has two exceptions. Okay, what are those exceptions? अगर कोई वेद हकीम जो इंडियन मेडिकल सिस्टम को प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, इंडियन मेडिसिनल सिस्टम को, उनको जो है वो स्टेट बायोडाइवर्सिटी बोर्ड जो है वो रिलैक्सेशन दे रखा है उन्होंने. ओके, सो दे डू नॉट नीड टू टेक एनी काइंड ऑफ अप्रूवल फ्रॉम दिस स्टेट बायोडाइवर्सिटी बोर्ड. एंड सेकंड जो है, दैट इज फॉर द लोकल पीपल who use this bioresources for the local use. So local people, local use. Okay, so nowadays there is a too much hype or too much emphasis on being vocal for local. Okay, so you just remember that. Okay, and it is possibility because there is this vocal for local is too much there in the news, so it is also possible that UPSC may ask a question from this particular concept. Okay, so this is the mandate of State Biodiversity Board, and the local people, they are given exemptions regarding the regulations of regarding the commercial use of bioresources. Okay, for the local use. Okay, so just remember this fact. Important. And at the local level, these are the Biodiversity Management Committee. Okay, so BMC. So these BMCs are constituted by a local body, for example a municipal corporation, within its area for the purpose of, क्या purpose है? Promoting conservation, sustainable use and documentation of biodiversity, including preservation of habitats, conservation of land races, folk varieties and cultivars, domesticated stocks and breeds of animals and microorganisms. Okay, so in short, just remember that the biodiversity management committees, they are responsible at the local level for the promotion of conservation, sustainable use and documentation of biodiversity. Okay, just remember these three words: conservation, sustainable use and documentation. Okay, and they are also responsible for chronicling of knowledge related to biodiversity. Okay, so जो कोई भी biodiversity से related knowledge है उसको chronicle करना है, यानी कि उसको documentation करना है. Okay, and the National Biodiversity Authority and the State Biodiversity Boards. Okay, so they need to consult. उनका काम है कि वो Biodiversity Management Committee को consult करे while taking any decision relating to the use of bioresources and knowledge within the jurisdiction of the particular Biodiversity Management Committee. Okay, so अगर NBA, that is National Biodiversity Authority, and State Biodiversity Board, अगर इनको कोई भी decision लेना है तो they have to consult the BMCs at the local level. So किसी भी particular species के regarding decision लेना है तो उस particular area की जो BMC होगी उसको NBA को और SSB दोनों को discuss करना होगा. Okay, and one of the important power which is given to the BMC is to levy charges. Okay, in the form of fees. Okay, so ये fees collect कर सकते हैं from any person for accessing or collecting any bioresources for commercial purpose. So अगर कोई भी commercial purpose के लिए biological resources को use करना चाहता है तो जो BMC हैं they will levy some fees and they will put this fees in the State Biodiversity Fund. Okay, that can be further used for the administrative functions of the all these authorities. Okay, now for the documentation purpose there is a very important register, and its name is People's Biodiversity Register. Okay, so this is very very important. Just remember that biodiversity management committees, they have been mandated to prepare People's Biodiversity Register. Okay, so as we discussed कि जो documentation का काम है regarding the biodiversity, that is of the job of बायोडाइवर्सिटी मैनेजमेंट कमिटीज. ओके, सो इन कमिटीज का काम है कि एक रजिस्टर प्रिपेयर करना जिसका नाम होगा पीपल्स बायोडाइवर्सिटी रजिस्टर इन कंसल्टेशन विद द लोकल पीपल, एंड दिस रजिस्टर वुड हैव कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन अवेलेबिलिटी, नॉलेज ऑफ लोकल बायोलॉजिकल रिसोर्सेज एंड देयर मेडिसिनल एंड एनी अदर यूज. सो कोई भी पर्टिकुलर जो एरिया है उसमें जो भी बायोडाइवर्सिटी से रिलेटेड उनके जो इंफॉर्मेशन होगी, उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी से रिलेटेड, या फिर उनको जो है किस तरीके से मेडिसिनल पर्पस के लिए यूज किया जा सकता है, या फिर एनी अदर पर्पस, किसी भी उनको ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज जो है उनसे एसोसिएटेड, अगर उसका किसी भी तरीके की कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन है, अगर कोई भी तरीका है उसको यूज करने का, So all those things will be comprehensively covered in this People's Biodiversity Register. Okay, so they are very, very important from the perspective of conservation of biodiversity and the use of this biodiversity resources. Okay, so I hope that all these concepts are clear to you people by now. So let's test our knowledge acquired in this video. Okay, हम देखते हैं हमने कितना सीखा है. Okay, so in the 2013 paper, UPSC asked this question about National Biodiversity Authority, and the question was, how does National Biodiversity Authority help in protecting the Indian agriculture? Okay, so जो NBA है वो Indian agriculture को किस तरीके से protect करती है? So the three statements were given was NBA checks the biopiracy, okay, and protects the indigenous and traditional genetic resources. Second statement was NBA directly, okay, so this is the keyword here, directly monitors and supervises the scientific research on genetic modifications of the crop plants. So we see that NBA is not directly monitoring and supervising these things. This is the job of बायोडाइवर्सिटी मैनेजमेंट कमिटीज. ओके, सो लोकल लेवल पे जो इनको मैनेज करना है वो बीएमसी का काम है, ना कि एनबीए का. एनबीए जो है वो बीएमसी को कंसल्ट करती है. सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज रॉन्ग, दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू, बिकॉज जो एनबीए है वो बायोपायरेसी को रोकती है and it protects the indigenous and traditional genetic resources. Third statement is that application for intellectual property right, okay, so IPR related to the genetic or biological resources cannot be made without the approval of NBA. Okay, so while discussing NBA, this was the third point, that कोई भी पेटेंट राइट्स है उसके लिए एनबीए की प्रायर अप्रूवल जरूरी होती है. ओके, सो दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू, दिस स्टेटमेंट इज ट्रू, सो द आंसर बिकम्स सी 1 and 3. ओके, so this is how you have to focus on specific keywords. Here it returns directly, so it does not do directly, that's how it becomes wrong, otherwise the answer would have been D. Then I will not tell the answer of this question, and I will ask you people to write the answer of this question in the comment section, because it is a very, very simple question. It was asked in 2016, and 2016 was a very simple prelims paper, because in that particular year the cutoff went up to 116 out of 200. So that is the highest cutoff till now, once the pattern of UPSC prelims changed in 2013. Okay, so 2016 का बहुत ही इजी पेपर था, और उस इजी पेपर का एक इजी क्वेश्चन था, that with reference to the agenda 21 sometimes seen in the news, consider the following statement. Okay, so statement 1 was, it is a global action plan for sustainable development. The second statement was, it originated in the World Summit on Sustainable Development held in Johannesburg in 2002. So based on our discussion earlier in this video, please tell the answer, that whether statement 1 is correct, 2 is correct, both are correct, or neither 1 nor 2 are correct. Okay, so just write your answer A, B, C, D in the comment section. And this is the last question, and it was also in 2016, but this is slightly tricky question. अगर आपको keywords नहीं याद हैं, then it will become somewhat difficult for you to answer this question. So the question was, consider the following pairs, terms sometimes seen in the news. So okay, so these are the terms 1, 2 and 3 and their origin. So one is Annex 1 countries. So the associated statement is given, Cartagena Protocol. Second was certified emission reduction, Nagoya Protocol, and third one, clean development mechanism, Kyoto Protocol. Okay, so I told you people that Cartagena Protocol में जो आपको word याद रखना था keyword, that was biosafety. So if you remember that the Cartagena Protocol is related to biosafety, and it is a protocol under the Convention on Biodiversity Conservation. Okay, so then you can easily remember that this is related to biosafety, and Annex 1 countries का इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं है. Okay, another one was the Nagoya Protocol. So this we also covered in our this particular discussion, and Nagoya Protocol was on the access to biological or genetic resources and their benefit sharing. Okay, fair and equitable benefit sharing. Okay, so remember these keywords, access and benefit sharing. So this is not anyhow related to certified emission reduction, because emissions का कोई लेना देना ही नहीं है. emission होते हैं कि जब कोई green house gases या फिर और कोई दूसरे ozone emissions वगैरह वगैरह. So emission is generally in the with reference to the gases, but यहाँ से जो नागोया प्रोटोकॉल है उसका बायोडाइवर्सिटी से लेना देना है, उसका गैसेस से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. So this statement also becomes incorrect. Okay, and third one is the clean development mechanism. So it is a kind of carbon credit mechanism under Kyoto Protocol. So we have not discussed till now this Kyoto Protocol and the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, okay, UNFCCC. So this is a very important concept, and I think in the upcoming videos we will be discussing about this UNFCCC, Kyoto Protocol, and now Paris Agreement of 2015. But if you remember just these two facts, you can easily solve this question, okay. So 1 and 2 are incorrect, 2 and 3 again incorrect, so the correct only is statement C, or the 3 only, okay, because Annex 1 countries and certified emission reduction are also associated with Kyoto Protocol. But अगर आपको सिर्फ इतना पता होता कि कार्टाजिना प्रोटोकॉल और नागोया प्रोटोकॉल जो हैं they are related to biodiversity, so you could have got this answer correct, okay. This is how I got the answer correct when I appeared for the 2016 prelims. So this is how we solve the, एंड इन द एंड एज यूजुअल आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क यू पीपल दैट क्या ये वीडियोस जो हैं वो आपको आपकी प्रिपरेशन में मदद कर रहे हैं, आर दे यूजफुल फॉर रिवीजन और लर्निंग द न्यू कॉन्सेप्ट्स. सो इफ यस देन प्लीज लाइक द वीडियो, share it with your friends so that we can reach to the maximum number of aspirants. And till now if you have not subscribed, that will be really unfair to me. So अगर अब तक नहीं किया है then please subscribe to the channel and ask your other friends to subscribe as well, so that we can reach the 1000 subscribers target very soon, okay. So till now we are around some 400 level, so I want that we reach a level of 1000 very soon, okay. So you can help me in doing that or in achieving that feat, okay. Thank you, have a nice day.